looked like it died of natural causes. You go, man.
I was thinking about it too. They were all like nervous and stuff. Sit there and watch. Definitely caused that heart attack, probably.
Yeah. Know your demographic.
Are they gonna dim the lights? It's a nice setup.
Okay.
Yep.
Good evening, Unity. Happy New Year's Eve to you. So glad you all are here. Another year is dawning. Oh, Spirit, let it be. Another year of service, of faithfulness and grace. Another year of learning, another year of praise. Another year of trusting and quiet happy rest. Another year is dawning. Oh, Spirit, let it be. Another year of service, of faithfulness and grace. Another year of learning, another year of praise. Another year of trusting in quiet happy rest. Another year of trusting in quiet happy rest.
Oh, thank you, Susan and Mark. It's so good to have all of you here. We welcome you this evening to Unity Spiritual Center of Portland, where we gather with an intention to hold a space this evening, to hold a sacred space for both what we're ready to let go of and also what we're willing to open our hearts and our minds and our dreams to. I wanted to, first of all, I'm Reverend Lisa Davis. I'm the minister here at Unity Spiritual Center of Portland. My pronouns are she and her. And as we gather this evening, I just want us to remember that this idea of gathering, of sacred gatherings on New Year's Eve, on that night before a new beginning, have happened for centuries and thousands of years. In Mesopotamia, in 2000 BCE, the Akitu festival happened on this night where they held space. They held an idea and made what did they say? They made vows to the gods. It was an early form of resolutions of how this new year would be. They honored the renewal of kingship. The Romans also did the same thing. And actually, that's when January 1st became the new year in 46 BCE. And in ancient Egypt, that was another time when the people gathered and held space. And these different traditions, of course, all the way to, let's see, the New York Times Square ball drop began in 1907, if you didn't know that and didn't have it handy. But, even watch nights happened in this country as blacks waited for that emancipation proclamation to go into effect. And many of the communities still do that today, this idea of holding space for something larger. One thing that all of the traditions have had is they have had the aspects of reflection, honoring what has been, of release, letting go of what no longer serves us, of renewal, blessing what is coming, of hope, which has to do with trusting life's journey and forward movement, and community, marking the moment together. And I think one of the most important things that we do is that community aspect also, of coming together as a community and holding space. And so we welcome you this evening into this space. And I wanted to share with you a little bit of what's going on. Let's see. Oh, wait, I didn't do an opening prayer, did I? I'll start with that. It might be that you have been asked to hold a lot this year. And as we come up to a place where we're looking into a new year and we're looking at what has been and what is to be, one of the things that we can do is open our hearts to a deeper understanding of the possibility, the pure potentiality of spirit, and the realization that every being on this planet is filled with that infinite presence and power, whatever name we want to call it. So as we open in prayer, for me, I'm not praying to a God out there. We each get to choose where that God is, and hopefully we're enlarging our idea continually, that there isn't some angry guy up in the sky that's trying to tell us what we should be or do, but instead maybe there's an energy of love, of divine love that fills us, that reminds us of who we are, and that encourages us from the inside out to remember the wholeness that we are. So as we begin this service in prayer, we're beginning with a sacred breath of yes. And I just invite you, wherever you've been, whatever's gone on in your world this year, to open your heart. We say, Infinite Spirit, we feel and we're willing to feel the very vibration of love that lives as us now. We say yes to the movement of spirit both within us and around us. And we realize that we are never alone. Instead, we are a part of something so large that the very vibration of this universe moves in and through and as us all. One essence, one understanding. And we open to larger stories for all of humanity. We let go of that which is ours to let go of, that has bound us, that no longer serves us, and we say yes to a larger story for ourselves, for those around us, and for every being on this planet, to know that they are loved, they are welcomed, and they belong just as they are. And this opportunity to gather this evening We say thank you, Infinite Spirit. And so it is. Amen. All right. And I wanted to let you know a couple things that are coming up. This Sunday is our White Stone ceremony. If you have not been to one, you actually receive a white stone from the Holy Land. And it is a meditation process where we just say, Spirit, how would you see my name, that new name? And that'll be at 11 o'clock this coming Sunday. The Saturday, January 10th, we begin Claire Grayson will be leading a 12-week play shop, which is image booking, holding a space and creating a book that reminds us of the truth of who we are. If any of us have had any difficulties with worthiness or wondering what's ours to do or how we hold that, this is a wonderful opportunity to do that. The first class is free. It's 10 to 12 on January 10th, and I believe that is the right. Where's Claire? That is, okay, I do have the right date. That following Tuesday, I will be beginning an 8-week class in real love. Most of us have learned something that he calls imitation love. We hadn't learned unconditional love for ourselves or others, so that'll be Tuesday nights coming up in this new year. There's a workshop on January 4th also, and all the sign-ups and things are out in the entryway. We want to welcome you if you're new and you haven't been to Unity Spiritual Center before, or if you're returning after a while. Wherever you are in your spiritual journey, you're welcome here. We believe that we are all on this sacred journey, some of which we like and some of which we'd rather offer to someone else. But the truth is, right where we are is where we need to be to learn, to grow, and to expand. And so if you received a welcome packet, that's great. If you did not and you're new, I just invite you to raise your hand. Is there anybody here for the first time who didn't get a welcome packet yet? I know we have a lot of people who have. Okay, then that's wonderful. If you did, we want you to know, we just would invite you to fill it out, and you can turn it in with the offering. You can leave it back in the back. Our ushers will be happy to take it. That yellow card will put you on our mailing list, and you can learn some of the events that are going on here at Unity. There's also a rose that I'd invite you to put on your lapel. We'd love to have you join us after the service. Tonight after the service, there's a small little just gathering saying Happy New Year that we do about 30 minutes after the end of this service, so that's as late as you have to stay out. But it's a wonderful opportunity to gather together and to just honor those around us as we move into this new year. And if the words you hear today work for you, I would encourage you to become a part of this community, because it's very important for us to find a place to gather and to connect and to know who we are, and then to support others along that journey. If the words that you hear tonight don't serve you and don't support you, I would encourage you to continue seeking to find a place that does recognize the truth of who you are and support you on your spiritual journey, because we are on quite a journey right now. Quite a journey. All right. I wanted to, what am I doing next? I know I have this. Okay. What I have not done is go over the service. This is a working service. It is one of our working services, and we will be doing several things tonight. The packet you got, I'm going to explain this, and then we're going to stand and sing. But I want to just go through this packet for a moment, because what you have, it starts out, first you will use 2 pieces of paper. We're going to do some journaling, just a little bit about how was this year, how has it served you, what have you been holding, some of the things like that. And then next we will actually use what's tracing paper, or this thin paper, and we will be burning it. And what are the small stories that we no longer need and that we'd like to let go of before this new year? Then we'll also be having time to write some sacred intentions, our dreams, or things we'd like to hold on our heart to see enlarged, larger stories, larger ideas, larger places. We'll be putting them in an envelope and addressing it to ourselves. And did anybody here get theirs back in October? All right, you get them back. You'll get them back in October, and it's a wonderful opportunity to just remember who you are. And by the way, I wanted to say, I had ones that I kept every year for 15 years in Ohio. And by the way, I have done one of these, I think, since I was probably 6 years old. I didn't know there were other families that didn't go to a burning bowl on New Year's Eve. I thought it was a requirement. But one of the things I remember is that My mother always said, if you didn't get what you desired, just put it in a sacred text for you. Just put it in there and see it happening. And one year I looked at all of those and I thought, they've all happened. They just didn't happen in my timing. And what a difference that is and what a blessing it is as we look at that. All right, we're going to stand and sing.
We are.
We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. Now the peace, we let the peace wash over us. We let it be. Now the joy, we let the joy wash over us. We let it be. Now the love, we let the love wash over us. We let it be.
All right, and I just invite you to turn to those around you with a handshake, a namaste, a hug, if you'd like to ask for one first. All right. You know, remember, doing anything as a group magnifies the power, the ability for us to hold space for something. So I wanted to start out by saying, first of all, does everybody have a packet? Is there anybody who needs a packet? If you didn't get one, let me know, and Kaja's got them. And if you didn't get a board, and then will you make sure you have a pen? They're in the seats, in the chairs in front of you. If you're in the front row, you can just reach behind probably and do that. Anybody else? Kaja, we need, yeah, there we go. Thank you. We need one over there. And what we're going to work with right now, and you can set the other pieces aside. I'd invite you just to get these 2 pieces of paper out, and you can put the others on the floor, and you can put them next to you wherever you want. And then the next one we'll use is this. But we're going to start out just with some contemplation.
I will listen, direct my path. I have vision for what's at hand. I am quiet, I can hear so clearly. Oh, sweet Spirit, my life is blessed. I set my eye on the glory. I set my heart on the love. My life is filled with your presence. I move into your heavenly bliss. I awaken to the future. I send blessings to the past. I am now filled with reassurance. Oh, sweet Spirit, my life is blessed. I set my eye on the glory. I set my heart on the love. My life is filled with your presence. I move into your heavenly bliss. I set my eye on the glory. I set my heart on the love. My life is filled with your presence. I move into your heavenly bliss. I will listen, direct my path. I have vision for what's at hand. I am quiet, I can hear so clearly. Oh, sweet Spirit, my life is blessed.
And, this next section is a meditative process. We will be journaling, reflecting on the year for about 10 minutes, just beginning to look at where we've been. And I would just invite you, we've been asked to hold a lot this year. Things that we weren't expecting, and we haven't known necessarily what to do with. But as we get quiet and just relax our bodies, I want us to remember that the silence and being able to get quiet is part of the sacred journey of letting go. And Rumi in the 13th century said, "Why do you stay in prison when the door is so wide open?" And we don't always think the door is wide open. But sometimes as we look again and again, we find something larger. And so I would invite you just to kind of turn within yourself as I ask these questions and just see what comes up. How does my body feel? What have I been holding? And just to start with just a breathing, I'd invite you to breathe, to relax. We're coming to the end of this year, 2025. It's been a busy year, a chaotic one. And we just take a moment to slow down, to breathe, and to begin listening, relaxing our bodies, closing our eyes, keeping your pen and your paper handy to write when you're guided to write, and just focusing on that breath. Feel yourself sitting on the chair. And whenever you're done, whenever you're guided to write, and when you're done, just bring yourself back into that sacred place. And as you focus on your breath, feel the tension flowing out from your body. Loose it. Let it go. All the ways we've tried to make life work or tried to stop things from happening or make things happen, we just loose it all. We don't have to focus on our consciousness. We just let go. And we allow ourselves to feel this moment of our lives. You know, the now of our lives is always more than just a moment. It's a period of time. And it includes all that we understand and that which we don't understand. But in this now moment, ask yourself, what have I been asked to hold in this now moment, in this year 2025, in this most recent time period in my journey? What were the characteristics of this recent time? And as ideas, perceptions, words come to you, I just invite you to write it down. There's no right answer. There's just simply consciousness flowing through us. What were the special events of this past year, this time period? They may have felt positive or negative, but what were the things that filled your journey? It could be anger, it could be fear, it could be love, it could be all of those. But write the main events of this time period. And now move to feelings during this time period. How did I feel? Did I feel secure or not secure? What were the feelings? And just list them. Acknowledge them. And as we move on from feelings, what were the relationships? How did they feel? Did they work? Were there ones to let go of? And what about the relationship with myself? How was that this year, this time period? 2025. And let's move on to the idea of forgiveness. What do I want to forgive about this year? It's always a choice. But what about this last time period? Is it time to forgive? What old stories have I carried that I no longer need to carry? Things from my past that I just don't need to take into this new year with me? What people, what situations, what moments do I need to forgive? And what do I need to forgive myself for? And as we get conscious of what it is that our journey has been with some of the journaling and the pieces that we've done, we get to take that breath and still journaling. What do I want to release? What do I want to let go of? What is it that I just don't need to take with me? Might be an old story that's kept me small. Lingering resentment that drains energy. Old roles I may have played to survive, but they're no longer needed. And we release not because these things were wrong, but because they've finished their season. And just as trees do not apologize for dropping their leaves, we don't need to apologize for changing. And there's a quiet courage in saying, I don't need to understand everything to let it go. I may not have closure. I may not have the answers. I may not feel ready, and yet I can still let it go. Release is always possible. Release is not about erasing the past, but it's about loosening our grip so the future has room to arrive. And now I'd invite you to take that tracing paper that you have and write on it what you're ready to let go of. It could be a tendency, a feeling, a resentment. You look at the things that you've journaled and just say, what is mine to let go of? The way that we always make space for the new is to let go of the old. Or using the small piece of tracing paper that you have to write. You can write on both sides, but to write, what is it I'm willing and ready to let go of for myself, and you might even add for humanity. And in just a moment, we're going to prepare to burn our old stories, all that we want to release. And the ushers will release you by rows, starting in the back. And we're going to come down the center here. There's actually two different bowls, so 2 rows. And we'll come up here. You will allow just simply to light this and then drop it in, because it burns fast, first of all, and to do that. And then you'll go on out and back to your rows through the outside. So we'll just make a nice circle here. And we're gonna start. Are we ready? Okay.
Dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down,
Yeah, just do that. There you go.
surrendering in love. I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love, surrendering in love, surrendering in love, surrendering in love. I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love. I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love, surrendering dropping
And so
down
that's her remembrance.
It'll burn.
to the
Okay, I'm really
truth
sorry.
of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love, surrendering in love, surrendering in love, surrendering in love. I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love. I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love, surrendering in love, surrendering in love, surrendering in love. This day is a witness to my sacred purpose, to all that I'm meant to be. This day is a witness to my sacred purpose, to all that I'm meant to be. Letting it in, letting it flow, letting it go where it will go, letting the power of your presence show the way. Letting it in, letting you know, I'm letting you lead that I might follow, being a witness to your presence every day. This soul is a witness to my holy purpose, to all that I'm born to be. This soul is a witness to letting it go where it will go, letting the power of your presence show the way, letting it in, letting you know I'm letting you lead, that I might follow, being a witness to your presence all the way. This life is a witness to my rightful purpose, to all that I've come to be. This life is a witness to my rightful purpose, to all that I've come to be. I will bear witness to your love. I will bear witness to your love. I will bear witness to your love for all my life. I will bear witness to your love. I will bear witness to your love. I will bear witness to your love for all my life. For all my life. For all my life.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. And our journeys, our life journeys do become that witness. They become that opportunity to live a journey that some of it we understand and some of it we don't understand. Anybody been in that place this year? I get this, I get this. We're living in liminal times, which means we're in between this story and this story. And what's so fascinating, I've never seen it before, that is individually, that's collectively, and it's globally. And we all desire other people to understand what that story is, right? We have the story and we want someone else to get it, or we want it to move faster. We want it to shift. But these stories, it's so important to understand it because we're at a doorway right now. And individually, we're at this space because this is also, it's that liminal. That means the time in between this and this. And New Year's Eve is that sacred time. You can kind of feel it. There's this movement that happens. And we get to ask the question, what is it I want to create as I move into this year? What is it I'd like to see and to know? And right now, you stand inside of a story. Individually, you stand in a story. Collectively, we stand in a story, and it's a quite interesting one. And there's a lot to fall away and to learn. And globally, we do. But what's fascinating is that it's not just the story of this year ending and another one beginning, but it's the story of who we believe we are. And we were all told a certain story. It may have been the religion or the family or the people we were around or whatever, or the country we're in. We were raised in all of these stories. If we're white, if we experience this, if we experience that. And now, everyone lives within these stories. I want to say some of them are inherited. Some of them are chosen. Some were written for us long before we even knew we had a voice. And many of the stories are too small to contain and sustain humanity today. We can't live in the old stories, so we have to find a falling away. And yet this night, tonight, is such a wonderful opportunity to say, is the story I'm living in large enough to hold who I am becoming? Is the story that I'm living, is it still large enough? And I'm going to invite you into that question. In a moment, we will put down some sacred intentions. But these intentions, as I keep researching what happened thousands of years ago, some of the questions that they pondered were, how could we be better together? How could we be better together? How could we hold this place? And we also get to ask the question, is the story we're telling about humanity still large enough to hold hope? And I believe we're being asked to step into a larger story about humanity. But we have to take the blinders off. If we've been raised in white privilege, if we've been raised in this and in that, those things have to fall away so we can see a larger story. And then we have to have the individual story that's large enough. So we have to take away the idea that I'm a sinner, or that I was less than whole, or that I'm not enough. We get to say these stories aren't large enough for me anymore. And I don't believe they're large enough for any of humanity. Instead, we get to find a larger story. And so, when stories shrink, and over time they do, have you ever noticed that in your life? It's not large enough to hold you anymore. When they shrink, they require a falling apart, a breaking open. And we've been in that place. And our stories get smaller when we believe that change is impossible, that people can't grow, that the future must repeat the past, when we just feel like we're stuck in this cycle. But there's always an evolutionary story that is going on underneath the story we see around us. And we're the ones who get to step into the larger story and begin to touch our world around us with that story. What I've found this year is it's incredibly difficult to hold a larger story when I see what's happening in the news, and they've arrested someone who has no business being arrested. They've taken this privilege or this privilege. It's really hard for us right now to hold a large enough story. But I believe that's what we're being asked to do. And so we get to both realize, wait a minute, the story that I lived in is asking me to enlarge. And it's asking me to stand with others in that larger story. I don't know about you, but I can feel it. You can feel it all around us. And so how do we do that? In fact, humanity is also in the middle of a story. And the world often tells us a small story about humanity. We're hopelessly divided. Violence and greed define us. Compassion is naive. But there's a spirit that tells a different story. And so as we spend some time tonight beginning to open our hearts to not just what, yes, I'd like a car, or I'd like this, or I'd like that. This year is asking us to dream larger stories for ourselves and for the world around us. And so as we begin to focus on what is the larger story, I can't even tell you who wrote this, but I just saw these lines, and it says, a larger story for humanity begins when enough people decide love will be part of the future, justice will be part of the future, and belonging will be part of the future. And I was so touched by those ideas that maybe that which I desire and hold an intention for is to know what love as me looks like, and what justice as me looks like, and what belonging as me looks like. So I just invite you to begin looking at a story where fear doesn't have the final word or control who you are, where stress is not the truth of your journey, but instead something larger is there, where differences become sources of wisdom, not division, and where humanity remembers its shared soul. So for many years when we've done this, we've focused on intentions for our life, and I still think it's very, very important. But I think we have to enlarge to stories, larger stories for ourselves and for humanity. And so I just invite you to know that. You know, Myrtle Fillmore, one of the co-founders of Unity, said, "Spirit is already in every part of your being. So it is just a matter of being conscious of oneness with Spirit, our oneness with Spirit. Your thoughts of truth form this consciousness. And when we live from that place, we create a larger story." And so as you take time tonight to begin thinking of what would those stories be, I just invite you to look again and again. Rumi said, "What you seek is seeking you." These stories are not hidden from us. They're not too difficult to find. They'll come through us when we remember that which we seek and know about ourselves is seeking and knowing itself about us. So I just invite you to ask yourself the question and take out your, we have our blue sheet for sacred intentions, and just to begin writing, what are some of your intentions for the evening? What are some of the pieces that you see? And when you're done, we'll address this envelope to ourselves, but for now, just beginning those sacred intentions, those sacred stories. Is my story large enough? And how would I see it larger? as you keep writing, if you're done, go ahead and fold it in thirds and put it on this and address it. If you're not, just keep writing. And you can put that your name and address on the front. We'll mail it back to you. You can put it as the return address if you want also. But there's a growth principle of life that we always need to remember. Spiritual growth often happens at the lowest point of a cycle, of any cycle, throughout our lives, throughout history. When we think things are the most negative and the worst, and it's the darkest, the greatest growth takes place most of the time at those places. Faith grows in that darkness, a larger understanding, a falling away of the way we used to see humanity and the world and ourselves and how we belong. And so as we hold all that's happening in our world, part of that journey is knowing that our souls chose to be in this place at this time. There are no mistakes. We may wish we were born at a different time or in a different family or in a different place. But we're here because we're the perfect being, the perfect soul to walk the journey we're walking and to take off the blinders we're asked to take off. And to begin reminding ourselves that the stories that are large enough always are ones that include our value and our worth and our right to be right where we are as the light, as the essence that we are, even when we may have been told a different story. I'm going to share a couple other just beautiful lines from Rumi. One is, seek the wisdom that will untie your knot. Seek the path that demands your whole being. Seek the wisdom that will untie your knot. I believe we're being offered that right now. But sometimes we might want to just say, no, I don't want to know anymore, hear anymore, experience anymore. But that awakening, that falling away, that breaking open continually allows us to see a larger story. It was Desmond Tutu who said, do your little bit of good where you are. It's those little bits of good put together that transform the world. Do your little bit of good right where you are. And Rumi said, everyone has been made for some particular work, and the desire for that work has been put in every heart. And we might think, oh, I've been battling with the work that's mine to do. But truly, that work is there, and the desire is in our hearts. So in just a moment, we're going to do our love offering. If you haven't finished, I invite you just to keep writing, and we'll finish that. And then as we receive our tithes and our love offerings, we'll also pass these envelopes over. We'll give you a couple more minutes to do that. But we're just going to get these over. And so we're going to, as you're doing these, thanks. In just a moment, we'll have you you can send those over if you're done to the inside aisle, and then we'll collect those. As we take time to receive our tithes and our love offerings, I just invite you to be a part of investing in a community. I believe that these ideas and the ability to live within a framework that supports us and reminds us of who we are is vital to humanity and to each of us individually, collectively, and I do believe globally. the more that we find a way to hold that space, the better off that all of us we find ourselves in. So as you hold your gifts in your hands, yeah, Beth, we'll do that in just a minute after we do this. We're going to do our love offering first. Okay. Beth, can we wait till after we get this? We're going to do our love offering, yeah. So I just invite you, as you hold your gifts in your hands, to join with me in this blessing. By the way, there's a card in the back of your seat if you'd like to find a different way to give. There's online and by text and the different pieces. But holding your gift in your hand and recognizing that the very energy that you are, divine love as you, it amplifies the truth. So let's say this together. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Thank you, thank you. And the one thing we haven't used is this little card here. And if you would like to write an affirmation or one or two of the things that you wrote in your letters, that in your intentions, I just invite you to take this home with you and put it on your mirror or on an altar table or somewhere, just to remind yourself of the truth of who you are and all that desires to be amplified in you. And if you haven't already, will you send your envelopes to the center aisle? Do we still, and we'll go back and collect those, if you'll send those in. All right, any more letters? Well, you guys can get them to Beth. Okay, we got the letters. We're getting them right now. All right, thank you, thank you. And just remember that as we gather, I continue to use Ram Dass's, we're all just walking each other home. And I think of that so often on this sacred night, to remember that all that we desire to see is available and present. And we're going to, I think we're getting closer to getting done. And we're going to get that opportunity to remember as we walk out of this space to know that so many hearts desire simply to love and be loved. They desire to be seen and to belong and to know they're more than they've been told they were. And that's where we get to shift that difference. We are going, and I invite you to join us downstairs if you'd like for just a short time, just to celebrate this new year and this movement. And we're going to sing.
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of all anxiety? And here's a hand, my trusty friend, and give a hand of thine. We'll take a cup of kindness yet for all anxiety. For all anxiety, my dear, for all anxiety, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for days of all anxiety.
And what we know is that the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And have a love-filled week. Do we want to do it one time?
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of all anxiety?